was a really important win for West Ham. A really important win. Terrible game to watch, by the way, and overshadowed by so much. I don't want to spend much time talking about the Kurt Zouma saga. It was sort of the idea of doing a video about it. Clearly the story's going to run and run. Zuma's losing his sponsors. It looks like a couple of the sponsors might be looking to withdraw from West Ham because he made it into the team. I just can't be bothered talking about it for any longer, really. Hopefully, if you really want to know what I think about it, it's there in yesterday's video. But I don't want it to dominate. And I'll tell you why. I just think that what we really need at West Ham now is a bit of good news and a bit of football. And but I don't want to be accused of skirting over the issue. I addressed it yesterday. That's what I think about it. I continue to think the same and a little bit more besides. But anyway, yes, his performance is really important. It's something I sort of touched on in the review with Gio as well, because there's just so much anger around the club at the moment, and it is to do with, I think it's to do with a number of things. Obviously, the transfer window, it's almost like the Zouma business was just a sort of cherry on the cake. The cherry on the icing. One of them was the icing, and then you had the cherry. Well, whatever it was. Anyway, it stems, I think, from the last 18 months. We've done so well, and it just feels like we've slipped. And there's been a couple of games that you feel we should have won. I think getting knocked out by Tottenham out the cup was obviously not a great one. I think the Southampton game as well was a particular annoyance, and certainly we should have done better against some clubs. The Leeds, so it's 3 games in 8 days. The Leeds won the league, we won the cup one, and then lost the league one. That wasn't great either, and we're very laboured against Norwich as well. And it just seems for quite a while we've sort of been reliant on some players to get us through, and 2 in particular, may I say. And I think that's very much Jarrod, Bowen and Declan Rice, and they can't always do it. They really can't. And then you add in the whole extra aspect of Mikel Antonio, and I think we were all hopeful that he was going to have a really good season, and the trips away to play international football have just knocked the stuffing out of him. Look, Mikel Antonio was always going to find it hard without international football to play a sustained league campaign. And just every time he goes away, he comes back, he looks cream-crackered. And he looked cream-crackered yesterday, but a lot of the team did. And as I said in the review, they looked like they played 120 minutes. So to come through in that game and win that, it just felt right. The timing, as I said in the review, was absolutely perfect. Because Man U, they conceded that equaliser. I'm gutted. Do you know what? I'm gutted that we didn't beat Man U, because I felt they were there for the taking. I really did. And as I've maintained, I think that them swapping one average manager for another, I just can't see how they can finish top 4. They didn't really strengthen in the transfer windows. Obviously, it wasn't just us that didn't. And it seems like there's an unhappy camp. You look at the comments with Lingard and everything. Ronaldo doesn't look happy. Paul Pogba's going to leave. I'm not worried about Man United for that Champions League spot, or that European spot. Look, do I think we can get Champions League? I would think not. But if I thought we could stay up there and qualify for Europe 2 seasons in a row, that would be remarkable. I'm more worried about Arsenal and Tottenham. We'll know a lot more tonight. I'll put this video out in the morning. We'll know a lot more tonight about how they're going to do. But I sort of would prefer points on the board than games in hand. I think we're safe, by the way. I think we're safe from relegation, which is good. But they really worked themselves. I thought they worked themselves into the ground, the players, against Kidderminster. And they looked like they had nothing in the tank for much of that game. I thought it was only Dawson and Bowen who were really providing anything. I thought we looked so stale, really stale. And you know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble. Well, I thought so, when your thinking starts to turn to, I wonder if Vlasic can come on and do anything. Now, I don't want to make any big statements about any long-term career at West Ham that Vlasic might have. Maybe he's one of these players that will take a season to settle, but he clearly ain't been in good form this season. So for me to think, I'd like to see him come on, it just goes to show how the paucity of options that we've got in terms of trying to change the game around. When I say I wanted him to come on, it was more exploring options. The one player I did want to come on was Lanzini, and I'm absolutely delighted with it because he has been fantastic. And I'm a Lanzini fanboy. I've been for quite some time. He is just such a wonderful footballer. I often talk about David Moyes and how he trusts players. But I think often when I talk about David Moyes trusting players, it's that Moyes trusts the shift that they're going to put in. Puts Bowen on the pitch, he knows what he's going to get. Fornals, he knows what he's going to get. There's lots of those type of players at West Ham. I think he trusts Lanzini for another reason, and I wish he'd sort of trusted him a little bit more. Maybe he didn't start because, I don't know if you know, Lanzini's had a baby. Not him, personally. A miracle. Lanzini's wife has had a baby. Probably Lanzini's baby. Sorry. Bad joke. But bad jokes are better than no jokes. And I feel there's been a lack of jokes recently. So I want to get rid of all this horrible stuff, if at all possible. Maybe just was given a rest. But the trust that I think Moyes will have in Lanzini is the trust to trust him with the ball, to trust that he is going to retain possession and just dictate the flow of the game and dictate the pace of the game and really inject something into it. And I really felt he did that. I felt it really changed the game massively and certainly took the wind out of Watford's sails. Oh, crikey, I nearly forgot. This video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. You can download the OneFootball app by clicking the link below. It's a wonderful app. It's a lovely app. It's free. You can click that QR code if you know how to do such wonderful technological things. The best thing about the OneFootball app is it'll put all your West Ham news together into one place for you and deliver it straight to your mobile phone. Takes it from the newspapers, the websites and everything else. Granted, it's not going to be great news at the moment. A lot of it's a little bit dour news. But anyway, check it out. Use the code below, please, and download it to your phone for free. Hopefully, you'll be a bit of a match race on there and it'll give Lanzini remarkably good marks. And I did a video a year or so ago, I think it was about a year ago, saying, can we build the team around Lanzini? I still want us to do that. He's maturing as a player. He really is. And I don't mean, that Lanzini's more important than Declan Rice or Bowen. He's not. But he is a top quality player. And I've always maintained this. Lanzini wouldn't look out of place in any team. If you were to take, for instance, I don't know, take one player out of Man City. Right? One player out. If you were to just take Man City's wonderful team, take Grealish out of there, drop Lanzini in. Take Foden out, drop Lanzini in. I'm not suggesting that he's better than him, but I don't think you'd notice a discernible difference. Man City aren't going to suddenly look completely different. I think there's one or two players, I don't want to particularly name them and be nasty, because we were trying to do feel good at the moment. But I think you could probably take one or two other players out of Man City and drop one of our players in there and it might look vastly different. I think he's a quality operator. I really do. And there's times, particularly as it goes on, when we struggle to break down teams, when he's exactly the guy that you need. Sometimes I feel like we're just knocking on the door without any real sign of getting through. I do look at it, and I do look at the team, and I don't want, we've just had a transfer window to say, whatever we're going to do next time. But I do look at it and think, actually, we really need a left winger. We really do. Add to the list of the midfielder, the striker, and the left back, and so on, and the centre back. I was going to say, I usually say centre back or two, maybe centre back or three. Who knows where this is going to go? But I do think a really good, proper left winger would be a massive benefit to West Ham. Because when I look at us trying to break down teams, and you look at that performance against Watford, I know it was mostly Benrahma that played over there, but there was a point when Fornals moved over there. Fornals doesn't do the things that a winger can do. And neither does Benrahma. Benrahma's pretty ineffective there. I think, by and large, how many times do you see Benrahma skin his player, run down the wing and stick over a cross that gets nodded in? I just don't think he does. He's not that type of player. He's nowhere near as effective as Bowen is on the other side. Can we find someone as good as Bowen? Well, I think possibly we can. I mean, when we brought Benrahma in, we were certainly told that he was better than Bowen. That's if you look at the comments back from those videos, he's better than Bowen. it proves not to be the case. I'm not saying Ben Rama's without his qualities. Actually, I think Ben Rama looks at his best when he's in and around the box. I think he's sort of wasted there on that left-hand side. So I'd like to see us do something there. But what was pivotal in that game was, as I say, bringing Lanzini on, which seemed to liberate Bowen and really make him get involved in the game. We looked at a different prospects as a result. Leicester, I'm going to keep saying this, and I always say it. Leicester becomes a really big game on Sunday now. Leicester was a big game anyway. If we can beat Leicester, then it's back on. And I do believe a large part of that game that we just witnessed against Watford, a lot of it was down to fatigue. I did think they were faster, significantly faster in all areas of the pitch. A lack of pace, I still think is a worry. And I go on about it a lot. Is a worry at West Ham. I said to Gio in the review, Watford had the first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth fastest players on the pitch. It's too much. It's too much. You need somebody on there. And Antonio is powerful and he's pacey, but he wasn't one of the top 5 fastest players on the pitch. He just wasn't. And people seem to handle him quite well from in that aspect. So I think it would help us massively. It really would. But anyway, sorry, going back to Leicester. Leicester's a big game, really big game. If we can win that, then you'd like to think that we're back on track. The Europa Cup, League, whatever it is, that one that we're in, that gets back up and running this month. And then after that, 2 legs, and we'll find out our opponents. The season has started. There's been a lot of negativity. This transfer window and the stuff which I've already covered. I do feel a couple of back-to-back wins will really start to ease. It's not so much ease the pressure on West Ham. Maybe Moyes says he doesn't feel it. Do you know what? I'm starting to believe him, really. I think it lightens the mood, though. Lightens the mood around the fan base and around the clubs. And I said we've certainly noticed it in the videos and a lot of anger in a lot of the comments from not most people, far from it. As ever. Almost every day, most of the comments are absolutely lovely and pleasant, but you can see people's tolerance for each other really diminishing. And I think, just to get our season back on track, few wins, put us up there and give the fans and give us a belief that we can qualify for Europe again would be absolutely magnificent. So, fingers crossed. I do think we're only an injury or a drama like we've had. It can never all go well at West Ham, can it? From another little dip and another thing to make us lurch into another crisis, so to speak. However, good result. Really pleased. Not the best performance, but some players did sparkle. And I tell you what, hats off to Dawson. Well done, Dawson. 'Cause I tell you what, we're going to need him now more than ever.